Hey there, so it's 6 o'clock, you've been carting the kids around all day, maybe you just got home from work and you don't know what to make for dinner. You forgot to defrost some chicken, what are you gonna make? Today I'm gonna talk about making a really quick and easy pantry sauce, pasta puttanesca, a spicy Italian sauce. It's gonna be all things that come out of your pantry for the most part, canned tomatoes, roasted red peppers, capers, anchovies, tomato paste. You can put in black olives, depending on what's in your pantry. Again, kalamata, regular slice, a variety of different spices, and of course, a little wine. Okay, so we're gonna make pasta puttanesca. First thing you do is you pour a glass of wine for yourself. Very good. Second, put on a pot of water for your pasta to boil. Heavily salted. You want your pasta water to taste like the sea, so the pasta takes on some of that salty flavor. Heat a pan over medium-high heat. I like to use one with nice high sides on it, so I make a lot of sauce. And put in about 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Then you're going to add 1 large chopped onion and 5 chopped garlic cloves to the pan. I'm going to stir those and let them cook until they're fragrant and they get translucent. Okay, so let them go for a couple of minutes, probably about 3 minutes. Already smells good in here. Then you're going to add anchovies to the pan as soon as these get soft. Don't be scared. The sauce will not taste like anchovies. It just adds a nice umami flavor to the sauce. You have to have the anchovies and you won't regret it, I promise. I'm going to add, I have anchovies just in oil in a can. I'm going to add probably 4 or 5 good-sized anchovy fillets. And they're literally going to dissolve into the sauce and give it this amazing flavor. Stir that up. You'll see them starting to disintegrate a little bit as they cook. See them falling apart a little bit. Okay, then you're going to add your tomatoes. Again, all pantry items, these are canned tomatoes. I like to use 1 large can of crushed. Goodness out of there. And then 2 cans for a little bit of texture of diced, but again, you can use whatever you have in your pantry. Okay, now we're going to let that cook for a minute. We're going to add some spices. And this recipe will be on the blog with more exact measurements, but this will give you an idea. Once you make it 1,000 times, you don't need the recipe anymore. Okay, so we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt, a good teaspoon of black pepper, about a tablespoon of basil, dried basil, about 2 teaspoons of Italian oregano. And the key, because this is a spicy sauce, is red pepper flakes. So depending on your heat level, I like to add about almost a tablespoon. But you can go a little less if you don't like it super spicy. So we're going to stir that in. And you're going to let this cook probably for a good 5 minutes to let the flavors start to meld. Ooh, I also like to add a little bit of sugar. It just takes a little bit of any bitterness out of the tomatoes and adds a little sweet. So probably about a tablespoon and a half of just regular white sugar. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook down for probably about 5 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, our sauce has been bubbling away, as you can see, for a little bit, and it smells amazing. So now we're gonna add a few more ingredients. I have a jar, about a 12-ounce jar of roasted red peppers. And I'm just gonna cut them up a little bit to break them apart. They're gonna break up in the sauce as well, but put a knife in there, kind of give them a good chop, and then you can add them, juice and all, to the sauce. Again, you can cut them up a little bit more if you need to. And then don't forget, you opened that bottle of red wine. I'm gonna add about a cup of that into the sauce. A can, this is like a 3.8-ounce can of sliced olives. As I said earlier, you can use a Kalamata olive if you like that better. And then 1 4-ounce jar of capers. This makes the sauce really salty and briny and gives a nice bite. Give that a stir. Break up the peppers a little more if they need to be. Doesn't that look good? Okay, you're going to keep that bubbling away. We're going to add about a tablespoon of tomato paste, and I really like to get tomato paste in the tube. Otherwise, you open one of those little cans and you only use half of it, and then it gets all nasty in your refrigerator and goes to waste. This you squeeze out, you know, your tablespoon or whatever you're going to use, and then you just put it back in the fridge and it lasts forever. It's really great stuff. That, and then you just stir that all in, and you're going to let this cook probably for another 5 minutes or so until the peppers are broken down, the sauce is thickened up a little bit from that tomato paste, and the wine has cooked out. You want the flavor to cook out, the alcohol to cook out, and the flavor to remain. So we're going to let that go for another couple minutes. And then once this bubbles away for a little bit, we're going to decide, right like this, it's a fantastic vegetarian dish and a great meal on its own over pasta. But sometimes I like to add either, I always have a bag of frozen shrimp in my refrigerator. Shrimp Puttanesca is a fantastic dish. Or I had a tip on my blog earlier where I take chicken breast when it's on sale, I parboil it, and then I shred it. So for a dish like this, if I decide I want to throw chicken in as a protein, then I can do that as well. I am going to do the shrimp today, but this is also a really great tip. So we're bubbling away here. And you can throw either the shrimp or the chicken right into the sauce. You don't have to defrost them in advance. Just bring it back up to a boil, and as soon as the shrimp are pink, or the chicken is cooked through, or it's actually cooked through already, but as soon as it's warm, you're ready to go. So I'm going to actually throw a bag, I'm going to turn my heat up a little bit, and throw that bag of shrimp in here now. This is a 1 pound bag. And throw it in there, juices and all. That shrimp juice is going to add, again, a nice seafood umami flavor. We're going to mix that in and just kind of break it up. Again, that's still frozen. That looks good. All right, and in about 2 minutes, I'm going to drop my pasta, and then we'll be back to plate this up and garnish it with some Parmesan and fresh basil. Okay, our sauce is bubbling away. Our pasta is done. Actually, it's just under al dente. You don't want it to quite be done because it's going to finish cooking in your sauce. So we're just going to literally take that out of the pasta water, drain, bring it right into, whoopsie, into your sauce. Okay, and then you toss it. Into your sauce. Let all that goodness cook in. We're going to add a little bit of fresh basil. We'll save a little bit for garnish at the end. And keep tossing. You might want to taste it now as well for the heat level. And if you think it's not spicy enough, you can add a little more red pepper flake or even black pepper. But I tasted this and it's perfect. Okay, so we're going to plate up. Okay, grab a portion. Looks so good. We'll clean that plate up in a minute. This is a fresh pasta that you get in the grocery store, but you can use dry pasta, you can use linguine, spaghetti, fettuccine. All would work great in this sauce. We're going to get some of the shrimp and the sauce goodness in here. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, let's clean up our plate a little bit. Paper towel. Does that look good? Okay. A little more fresh basil. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. Oh boy, and it's time to eat. Yummy. Let's give it a try. It's gonna be hot. Amazing. You have to try this. Thanks so much for watching.